This is the Pirate Digital Escape Room for integer operations. And this is the student slide deck. So this is what they're going to see. Now the teacher has separate instructions and printables. So you want to have the students start here on slide 1. And you want to have them, if they're on Google Slides, they go up to the upper right-hand corner, click on Slideshow. In PowerPoint, it's somewhere in the middle, and then they click on Start from the beginning. So let's go to slideshow mode. Make sure they stay in slideshow mode all through the game. So they're going to start by clicking on this yellow box. It says click here. And they start reading the story. So you're walking along the shore and suddenly everything goes black. You wake up in the hold of a ship. Your head hurts badly, but you must escape. So you click on the pirate ship. Now they're going to solve math clues to find their way out. And the first activity is a math maze. So I'm going to get out of slideshow mode just to show you what that looks like. So you're going to copy this for the students, print it out, and they're going to start here. They start in a room and they're solving integer problems. So they've got 3 doors they can go through. The one that has the solution, which is 9, moves them through the door into the next room. Then they have -2, -6, that moves them into this room, and they're just going to keep moving around the maze. If they do these problems all correctly, move through the correct doors, they're going to end up right here at -4 times -8. The solution is going to take them outside the maze where they're going to collect a letter. So this is the letter T if they do these correctly. And they want to keep track of letters all through the game, because at the end, they're going to take all of their letters and they're going to form a pirate word. So they have their letter T. If they've done these correctly, they click on the ship. Now, if they have a different letter, they went through a different door. They click on it, it's going to say, oh no, you chose the wrong door. Go back to your maze and try again, and then find a different door. So they go back. Once they look at their maze again and they find the letter T, it says success. So at this point, they're going to keep track of that letter T. And I'm going to give you these little slips of paper. So you're going to print these out, cut them out for the students. Every student will have their own. And they're going to keep track of their letters. So at this point, they're just writing the letter T. Now they continue reading the story. The hatch is opened up. You pull yourself up through the opening, and now you're in another room full of animals. You can barely see, and it smells really bad. So you're going to click on the sheep. The next activity is a matching card game. So they have to match these integer cards correctly to find their way out. Now these are the cards you're going to print. There are 32 altogether in each deck, so you're going to have to copy several different decks depending on how many students you have. You're going to cut them out. I would laminate them so that they last for a long time. And then students are going to match the cards together. So they're going to match their integer problem to its solution. Now, once they get finished, they're going to have you check them. And this is the only activity that you're really directly involved in. So what you're going to do is you're going to check the cards. If they're all matched correctly, you're going to give them the letter M. If they've made a mistake somewhere, you give them the letter N. So don't tell them whether they are correct or not. You just give them either the letter M or the letter N. So let's go back. So they have their letter. They're going to click on the ship. Now, if you gave them the letter N and they click on it, oh no, you have the wrong letter. Go back and fix those matching cards again and then show them to your teacher. So they go back. Once you give them the letter M, it says success. And now you're going to write down that letter. So you have the letter T and the letter M on the answer sheet. They're going to continue reading. You find a small door for the animals and try to squeeze through. When you get on the other side, there's a room full of treasure chests. You want to look inside one, but you have to escape. So you click on the treasure chest. Now students are going to be solving a riddle by completing integer problems. And what they're looking for after they solve the riddle, the letter that's represented by -5. So again, you're going to print these out for the students. They're going to solve each of these integer problems, and they're going to match it to the letter that's on the same line. They come down to the bottom. They have the riddle, why do plants hate math? And they're going to write the letter above each of these answers. And if they've done them correctly, it will solve the riddle. Now, then they look at the letter represented by -5, and that will be their next letter. It should be the letter U. So they have the letter U or a different letter, and they click on the ship. If they have the wrong letter, oh no, you chose the wrong letter, go back to your riddle and check again. Did your answer to the riddle make sense? So sometimes students will have a wrong letter in there and they just let it slide. They don't really notice that something's spelled incorrectly. So ask them if the riddle makes sense. They can check their answers again. Now, once they have the letter U, success, and they're going to write this letter on their answer sheet with the letter T and the letter M. So again, they're collecting letters. Now they continue reading. You pull a couple of really heavy chests to the side and you find another door. It seems stuck, but you kick it open, hoping the pirates don't hear you. Inside are jail cells full of prisoners. If you let them out, they might help you. So you click on the treasure chest. Now, the next math puzzle, they're going to have a grid of numbers. So let me show you what that looks like. And they're going to be coloring in different squares. So make sure they have colored pencils or markers available. Again, you're going to print this out. These are possible solutions. So they're going to solve each integer problem. And they're going to find their solution on this grid, and then they're going to color in that square. They're going to do this for all of the integer problems. There's 8. So that means that when they're finished, there will be one left that hasn't been colored in, and that would be the number 9. Okay, let me go back. There's one more step to that. Okay, so if they read the instructions at the top, they've got the letter 9. They're going to count from the beginning of the alphabet. So the 9th letter would be the letter I. So that's their next letter. They're going to click on the ship. And again, if they have the wrong letter, oh no, you counted incorrectly, so that's possible. Go back to the integer problems and try again, and then go back and try a different letter. When they get the letter I, success, they're going to add that letter to their little slip of letters that they're collecting, and then they continue reading. So you find a key hanging on a hook. The prisoners get excited as you work to open each prison cell. They point to a window, and you all work to wedge it open. And you click on one of the prisoners. Now you have a challenge problem. So there's only 2 activities left. And we're going to look at that challenge problem. Okay, it says, what is the average of these integers? So it gives them the instruction to add all of the numbers together and then divide by the total count of numbers. So how to get the average. And they learned how to do this when they had the division of integers. They had to average. So we're going to take the average, which will be 2, if they do it correctly, and they're going to count from the end of the alphabet. So that will give them the letter Y. They click on the ship, and if they counted incorrectly, they've got the wrong answer. Oh no, you chose the wrong letter. Go back to your challenge problem and check again. So once they check again, they change their letter to the letter Y. Success, they're going to keep track of their letter. And you and the prisoners pull yourselves through the window, which opens into the galley. You have to sneak past the cooks to get to the outside door. So they click on the treasure chest. Now they have their final math challenge. So here they have several integers. They have to use the order of operations in order to solve this correctly. And then they've got a possible answer at the bottom. Now the answer should be -39, which would give them the letter N. Click on the ship, If they have the wrong letter, oh no, you chose the wrong letter, go back to your integer problem and look for errors. When they click on the letter N, success, and they write in their last letter, which is the letter N. You've made it to the outside, you did it, you escaped. All you see is ocean. But look, there's an island. Now swim for your life. So here, now they're going to take all of the letters, they're going to unscramble them to form a pirate word, and that word will be mutiny. Then they're going to look around the classroom to find a card that says mutiny, and you're going to place these cards around the room. You can also place cards that have different words on them so that they have to find the correct word. But what you can do, this is optional, you can get some plastic keys that you can get at Walmart or Target, and you're going to tape one of the plastic keys to the back of the mutiny cards. So when students find the right card, they're going to take the key, bring it to you for a prize. Okay, so that is the integer escape room, pirate themed. And also in the teacher instructions, I wanted to mention this, you can get all kinds of pirate prizes that you could put in a treasure box. Really cheap prizes again at Walmart or Target. All right, so that is the Pirate Escape Room integer operations.